Qool Hand Podcast, something you got to deal with. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host. My name is Q, and I do not like to call myself a fan. I don't like to call myself a fan of any celebrity, whether it's a rapper, actor, athlete, artist, musician, any of that. And you might have heard me say this if you watch the podcast regularly. Thank you if you do. But I try to correct myself if I do call myself a fan. I rather say I'm a supporter, something like that. I'm a supporter of an artist. And this is a me thing. I'm sure not everybody's like me, but I don't like to call myself a fan of somebody because let me just read the definition here. A fan is a person with an obsessive interest in and enthusiasm for something, especially an activity. Now, this term is used toward not only activities, but people as well. And more important to me, why I don't use the term or don't like to use the term is because fan is short for fanatic. And I'm not, when I think about my appreciation for artists and their craft, or a basketball player, somebody like LeBron James or Kobe Bryant, I appreciate them, but I am not a fanatic. I'm not about to die about it. I'm not about to fight about it. None of that. So this is why I make a conscious effort not to call myself a quote unquote fan, because I'm not a fanatic. And the term is easy to use. That's the thing. That's another thing about it, because nowadays the term fan is pretty much, it's taken on a different meaning. Like fan is short for I just like something. It's a convenient term. You can be a fan of somebody without being a fanatic these days. But like I said, it's a me thing. I don't like to call myself a fan. But because the meaning has taken on a different definition informally, just like, oh, I like the way this person raps. Oh, I'm a fan now. Rather, there has been a separation of sorts for fans. There's casual fans. There's real fans, there's die-hard fans, and then of course, shout out to Eminem, you have the stans, right? So this is the culture that we're living in now. And in this episode, I want to talk about a specific instance that's come across the Qool Hand Podcast desk here. And I want to talk about it because it seems like these days, and not just these days, this predates my existence, that people put in too much stock, too much effort, too much vested interest, as if it was vested interest in someone's lives, in a celebrity's personal life, right? So now I'm going to read something from The Insider in regards to Doja Cat. And this is controversy in 2023. This is controversy. Now, this article was written October 18th, and it's important that we have that date down, because I'm going to swing back and circle back around to that date a little bit later. Now, directly from theinsider.com, over the last 30 days, Doja Cat has lost 911,910 Instagram followers, according to metrics tracker Social Blade. The losses come after Doja Cat posted on Twitter, it's called X now, but posted on Twitter and Threads last month that made fun of her most loyal fans, calling themselves kittens. And I'm going to stop there just for some context. Now, apparently her fans on social media wanted to call themselves as a group kittens. Kittens with a Z as well. And if you're not tuned in to the young people or stan Twitter, you have, I'm sure everybody, even if you're not into like the young people thing, you've heard of the Beehive. That's what Beyonce's core fans, online fans or whatever call themselves. They call themselves the Beehive. That's how you recognize a Beyonce fan, stan, loyal fan or whatever. And I know of another one. The Taylor Swift fan base is called Swifties. Okay, you follow me? So I can't think of anybody else because I'm really not, I really don't rock with the whole like, stan community type thing. Same way like Star Trek has Trekkies. There you go. That's one more that I can think of. So this group collectively calls themselves something. It catches on, and then a certain artist's fan base is known by this name. So Doja Cat kind of didn't appreciate this, and she says, my fans don't name themselves that. And I'm kind of editing things. This is a G-rated podcast, not even PG. This is G. If you call yourself kitten or kittens, that means you need to get off your phone and get a job and help your parents with the house. Harsh words, okay? And then from a screenshot, I'm going to read some tweets. Someone said, I want to hear you say, I do love you guys. As usual, you say to your fans. And Doja Cat responds to this person on Twitter, I don't though, because I don't even know y'all, in regards to saying I love you. And someone else responds, and we don't know you, but we have supported you through thick and thin. Mind you, you'd be nothing without us. You'd be working at a grocery store making songs on GarageBand, Miss High School Dropout. Ooh. And Doja Cat responded to that, but the point here is Doja Cat responding to one of her fans, that she doesn't love them because she doesn't even know them. Now obviously this hurt their feelings, and of all people I would sympathize, like the whole kittens comments and the I don't love you thing. I would only sympathize with a younger demographic for them catching feelings about this. You want to know why? Because at a certain point in my life, when I was younger, I looked up to 50 Cent, like Kanye West, and I still have an appreciation for 50 Cent. You hear me? I swear I bring up 50 Cent in every music related podcast I ever have. Like, seriously. And I'm like, do I say that I looked up to 50 Cent too much? But the thing is, it's the truth. 50 Cent and Kanye West when I was younger, Cassidy, so on and so forth. But if one of these rappers or musicians were to say, I don't like buck-toothed beaver kids because I have two big front teeth. If they said, if you got two big front teeth, don't listen to my music. This isn't for you. I don't rock with y'all. I would have felt hurt. I would have been like, dang, man, like I look up to you, man. Like, what you mean? So young people's brains are not fully developed. And I'm almost 30. I don't feel like my brain is fully developed either. So, but those are the only people that I can sympathize with, are the young people, if they took this any type of way. But more so, my gripe, and I side with Doja Cat on this one, and I'm just keeping it real. I'm keeping it real here now. I side with her because she's saying, like, pretty much go touch grass, go outside, get a job. If like you're really gonna call yourself kittens, like that's what you choose to do in your free time, whether it's online or not, you really want to call yourself a kitten? Like, and obviously there's people who do, like, and that's the cold part about it. That's the cold part. So there are dedicated fans, like dedicated. And there's also something called a fan page. When I was researching this topic and I was, trying to get a script together, my points, so this can be structured and organized. While I was doing this, I was like, let me look up a fan page and let me just see what's going on here. Because I don't follow a fan page. It's just not my realm. Now, I went to a Meek Mill fan page. It has close to 1 million followers. It was like over 700,000. You want to round up, you can just go to 1 million, close to 1 million, whatever. But all it does, the page is dedicated to Meek Mill. It gives Meek Mill updates. It's just Meek Mill updates. And it has to be uncomfortable. It has to be uncomfortable in the sense of when you become this public figure, you have people who, like I said, have what you would think is a vested interest, as if they benefit monetarily or materially from defending you on social media or forming a hive on social media and doing all sorts of stuff that, in my opinion, is just kind of weird. It's kind of like idolizing an individual. And the thing is, you have to realize that these artists are people. They are human that happen to be good at something. Now, I haven't listened to Doja Cat's music in a very, very long time, and not for one reason or another. I just haven't listened to it. I haven't been tuned in. I know she's lit now. She's popping. I think my second or third episode had to do with Doja Cat, because I first listened to her music a few years ago, and I'm like, I like this. Like, she has something. She's going places, and obviously she did. So, and when you look at this interaction, it's like you at home really want this artist that you like to love you. And I'm going to just keep it real. I'm going to keep it 1,000. You don't love them. You don't even know them. Like she said, I don't love you guys. And she didn't say, she just said, I don't though. She said in the tweet, I don't, in terms of loving them. I don't because I don't even know you. Do you truly love someone you don't know? Huh? How does that work? How do you intimately get to know someone in order to love them? And you don't know them. You only know them from music, okay? And you can feel some sort of connection to them, whether you look at all of their interviews and you're like, oh, I relate to this. They're just like me. And this is where the Stan character comes into play, because the song Stan by Eminem talks about this. Stan was a super fan who was obsessed with Eminem, to the point where Eminem's lack of responses to his letters made him do some crazy stuff. And that's where the Stan character comes in. And that term is used loosely as well on the internet. But that's not what it's about. I think that song by Eminem captures like the climate that people are in even today, but just on another level. Back then, when Eminem made Stan, there was no Instagram, Twitter. You did have to communicate with artists through fan mail. Nowadays, you can just send a tweet and you can get their attention for the right or wrong reasons. But so you have that you don't know them and they don't know you. It's like you're looking for some sort of validation from your favorite artist. Like, you want them to know you. You want them to love you. But this is the cold, hard truth. They don't love you and they don't know you. They may love your support. They may love you for your support, but they do not intimately love you. If you know what I'm saying? I love me some Kanye West music, bro. And I'm just keeping it real. If I get in a car accident and I meet my demise, I cannot expect Kanye West to be there, to give my family any money, to help me out, to check on my loved ones. I can't. Kanye West is asleep somewhere in Calabasas or another country doing his thing while I'm over here fighting in the hospital. He doesn't know me. He doesn't love me. I've bought some of his albums. I stream his music. I talk about him on the podcast. The dude doesn't love me. Facts. and that's the cold hard truth. Now, in response to, there's a real sense of entitlement when it comes to fans, that they expect artists to just reciprocate the same love that you have for them. And I think artists do the thing, like I said, I believe they love the support that they get. But you have to realize, okay, on social media, and I'm glad I remember this because I didn't write this point down. Say something about Beyonce. I dare you. Say something wrong about Taylor Swift. I dare you. Say something weird about Ariana Grande. Say something weird about Big Lotto. There are people who are on social media who are a part of these hives, these Swifties, these this is that, who will get on your behind. They will get on it. And they will, like these fan bases, these fan bases come from all sorts of different walks of life, and they have a certain set of skills that they know how to put to use. Now, while this member of I'm just going to make this up because I'm not trying to single out an artist, the Q Hive is just a regular person who goes to work. This other member of the Q Hive, this fake hive, knows how to dox people. They know how to get people's information and expose them. And so these fan bases, these hives, these groups of people, these super fans, stans, mind you, they represent the artist in a way. I'll see things on social media. It's like, I don't have a problem with like LeBron James. I hate his fans. Now, although LeBron James is his own person, the people who love him are connected to him. It's like by default, your fan base is connected to you. And by default, kinda, your fan base represents you. Now, if this person, this Doja Cat character says, I don't want to be associated with no kittens. Like, if this is what you choose to do with your time, get a job. Like, to me, it's like, okay, you have too much time on your hands to be calling yourself a kitten. Honestly, Doja Cat is a business at this point. She is a brand. Kittens, that's what you choose. So this isn't I'm singling out, this situation, this Doja Cat situation, but this applies in general. So she may not want to be represented that way, and that's what's wrong with that, because you're having a group of people who are attached to you kind of by default. Like, you don't choose them to be attached to you. Who want to represent you in a certain way. Her message could have been conveyed a little bit better, but it was just blatant, and it is what it is with that. But another thing is, although you have to learn how to detach the person from the music. Now, I'm going to do an episode on ghostwriters pretty soon. I haven't finished doing all my research for that. Sometimes they're just a voice. They're just a, dare I say, puppet. They have a team of writers, producers, so on and so forth, that make the music sound good. And you may relate to these lyrics. You may love the song. You may love how it makes you feel, when all your favorite artist did was sing it. You like their voice. You may like the lyrics that were written for that song, but it wasn't the artist who sung it, who wrote it. It's not their real feelings. The way they sing it, you almost think it's their real feelings, but this is entertainment. The thing is, you may be in love with a facade, okay? You don't know them, and they don't know you. And as much as you love the music, you don't love them. Now, I had an episode called the Qool Hand Podcast versus Allen Iverson. And in that episode, I talk about how I have like a rule back when I lived in Georgia, close to Atlanta. It was like, if you see a celebrity, they're human. Treat them as such. And I mentioned I would see some players of the Atlanta Hawks at my job. I worked at a grocery store at the time. And also saw the singer Lloyd. I talk about that in the podcast. But one day, as a basketball fan, I saw Allen Iverson. And I just had to say something to him. Played myself in when it all came down to it. You go ahead and watch the episode. But I caught myself fanning out. And I felt like a goofy. And the thing is, how in our brief interaction, me and Allen Iverson, how he treated me, like, that doesn't make me any less of an Allen Iverson fan. And it was, like I said, a quick interaction. Go watch that interview. But he kind of like pushed me to the side, in a sense, kind of disregarded me. But the thing is, if you ever do get to meet one of these artists or have an interaction with them, don't hold them to this high moral standard. They may be on TV, they may be on the internet, they may be tweeting, sending posts on Instagram or whatever, saying, I love you, I love all my fans, I love all that stuff. It's almost like they have to say it to keep some sort of engagement. Like, just realize that these are human beings. They're human. They put on pants, one leg at a time, just like you. These cats are probably taking high blood pressure medicine just like your grandma. Like, they're people. They just have a talent. They have a gift and a talent. and some money behind them. They got some bread behind them. That's it. Now, and there's nothing wrong with appreciating. I just want to make this clear. There's nothing wrong with appreciating someone for what they do or being in awe of what somebody does and having a respect for them as well. But you have to keep it in balance. You don't want to turn a person into an idol. I'm just keeping it real. Now, and if you don't believe what lame old Q of the Qool Hand Podcast says, I'll let you hold that. But I'm going to let you hold this too. Drake, one of the biggest artists in the game, one of the top rappers, period, and artists in the industry as well. He's a big artist. He says in the song Emotionless, I can't even capture the feeling I had at first, meeting all my heroes like seeing how magic works. Now, I'm not the sharpest tool in the toolbox. My brain is near smooth. I'm almost smooth brain, but I'm smart enough to know to interpret those lyrics. You know, when I saw something on Instagram of a guy breaking down all of these magic tricks, and it's like, oh man, that's crazy how that works. Because the trick, you know, what makes it quote unquote magic is, you know, the mystery. You're making things disappear and all this stuff. But when you see how they actually do it, the allure is gone. The act is over, right? You know what's behind the curtain, so to speak. But that's what he's saying. Meeting all my heroes, like seeing how magic works. Oh, so pretty much they're not what they appear to be. It's not what you thought. And that's the thing, like, you can't be disappointed when you don't have so high expectations for people who are in certain popular positions, more so public figures. Yeah, you could respect it. And then I'm gonna let you hold this too. Idols Become Rivals by Rick Ross. Now, shout out to Cash Money, because I love me some Cash Money, some Hot Boys, some UNLV, some Juvenile, Turk, BG, Lil Wayne, all of that. But Rick Ross it was pretty much a diss song to Birdman of the leader of Cash Money, or one of the top execs of Cash Money, talking about, you know, then I met you out on Live Nation dates, came to the realization that your watch was fake. You really broke my heart. I really thought you dudes really owned them cars. He says some stuff like that, pretty much saying like, okay, you had a Fugazi watch on and you're renting cars. Whole bunch of nonsense, honestly. But he's just saying that I thought you guys were something else that you portrayed to be. Now, I'm not saying that Cash Money and all of them have fake watches. I'm just quoting these lyrics here. I'm not taking any side. But the whole point of me saying that is, even celebrities say this about celebrities. You may be in a position one day where you're up there on the red carpet with them and you realize, nah, I don't like him. And in a sense, and I'm going to keep it a bean here, in a sense, like, I would like to interview like certain artists who I'm fascinated with their work, but in a way I don't, because not that I would like to stay ignorant, but I don't want to know who they really are. Because I know, and I'm gonna leave y'all with this one last thing. And this doesn't apply to everyone. These are my own independent thoughts. But to get to a certain level in whatever industry, music industry, film, if you're up there, you likely had to do some grimy and shiesty stuff. I say to get certain success, you have to step on people and you have to mess somebody over. You got to do somebody dirty. Even if you don't want to or mean to, you're going to mess somebody up. I'm sure many celebrities have stories of childhood friends or people who they were coming up with who got left behind for reasons of selfishness, for anything like that. Recently, I just saw an interview of Ali from the St. Lunatics on Vlad TV talking about how he was telling his side of the story of being with Nelly and writing for Nelly, and kind of things just didn't work out. And these are people who go way back together, and now they have gripes because of this fame, this industry, this money. Things go wrong, but the thing is, somebody has to get done dirty for you to get to the top. There's only so many people up there in the top thing. You know what I mean? There's only so many people up there. Not everybody's going to make it. And there's a lot of people who got stepped on and got sold false promises, being sold dreams, all for one person to make it. So remember that, like, you see the glitz and the glamour, but you do not see what's behind the scene. These people are human. They don't know you. They don't intimately know you, and they never got a chance to love you. They love your support, and they love the money that you bring them. Now, all publicity could be good publicity. When this person said back to Doja Cat that, if it wasn't for us, the fans, you wouldn't be anywhere. But how we'll end this? For real? Now, Doja Cat lost close to 1 million followers. Now, do you know how many? And this is as of August 19th, or 18th, excuse me, when I was looking at this article. She was left with 25.1 million followers after losing 1 million. She was left with 25.1 million followers. Now, I did a little bit of math, and I had it over there on my phone, but if I remember correctly, and all the scientists and mathematicians can go down to the comments section to correct me, but if I remember correctly, it was about 0.03% of her following she lost due to those comments. So although there's these articles, these big articles saying, because when you type in Doja Cat fans, you see a bunch of articles pop up, but it really wasn't a big deal. 900,000, almost 1 million followers is a lot. And it is a lot. That's a lot to me. For sure. But in the grand scheme of things, she lost less than a percentage of her followers. And I'm going to let you hold that the same way you want to hold these celebrities in high regard. Qool Hand Podcast, something you got to deal with. Don't shoot the messenger. Easy. You cannot be serious.